Now, one thing at immigration out usually just comes up as a regular practitioner does USCI stuff is like DUI work, which is always I'm going to get a DUI, or my lawyer said contact an immigration attorney. On your end, because you handle both, do you is that something you specialize in? I guess because you could comment on both those things.
Yes, yes, most definitely. So I am on the immigration committee for the Texas Criminal Defense Lawyers Association. So we're very active in monitoring the listserv for any questions that criminal defense attorneys may have in regards when immigration issues arise. And we are active in doing CLEs on crimmigration for criminal defense practitioners and immigration practitioners, because of course not every immigration attorney is going to be well versed in the criminal side of things.
Yes.
And I do write articles also for defense, the voice for the defense, which is the journal for the Criminal Defense Lawyers Association's organization. Yeah.
It's true stuff. I have a friend's cousin contacted me last week, and he was traveling internationally as an LPR, and he had done so many times. But then this time around, they stopped at the airport and said, "Oh, you have a paraphernalia possession history. You're going to." It looks like a marijuana charge, but he's telling me it was just yeah, they found like a piece, like a marijuana piece, like equipment. And I'm like, okay, get the court records. Family got it, and it's just dates and what happened, but it doesn't get into whether they. And this is Southwest, let's put it that way. It doesn't list if they warned him of the immigration consequences. In California, when we have court records, it breaks down what happened at each proceedings. This one just says a date and like what event happened, bail said or something like that. And I was like, oh, we got to. One thing is a challenge whether does that work every state, or whether they give him warnings about immigration consequences, or is that a California thing?
California is very progressive in that manner. Most definitely. I believe that California is even incorporated within their statutes requirements for certain things, right? Unfortunately, yeah, after the landmark case, Padilla came down, that's where immigration really took root as far as bringing it to the forefront, obviously. But here in Texas, it has been difficult in implementing the requirement to consult or advise your client of the immigration consequences of any criminal convictions. Texas is very large and many rural counties. Not every county is going to have a public defense office. In fact, Travis County, for example, which is a large city, the capital of Texas, didn't even have a public defense defender's office until most recently in 2020, 2021 is when they started it in 2020, but actually opened doors in 2021. Yeah, it's been a really long road in getting the word out there that this is what the law of the land is. And unfortunately, the present political climate is skewed, unfortunately, anti-immigrant, and it's been difficult also in educating judges,
Yeah.
for example, that they even have an obligation under Padilla to advise. In larger cities like Houston, Texas, where I spent the majority of my career in, is more advanced and progressive because their defender's office has been around for quite some time. And Fort Bend County has also been around for a while. And really in Dallas as well, those are the models for public defense and for advising clients of the immigration consequences of any criminal prosecution. But in your rural counties, they may not have that access, but they turn to things like on the listserv for the TCDLA or their local defense bars. But there's been a lot of good inroads in that regard. But most definitely, unfortunately, you still see where it's not done, even in present
Mhm.
time. So that has been the work of TCDLA organizations like that and a lot of local bars to get the word out and also to provide tools. For example, in Travis County, CAPDS, Capital Area Private Defender's Office, they have developed My Padilla, which is an online tool for those that are in rural areas to be able to get a advisal memo for their clients if they're in an area that does not have a public defense office or immigration resource
Mhm.
attorney on hand.